Good evening. Welcome to GeekyKOOL presents Geeky Cinephiles, episode number 25. We're a quarter of the way to the century there, Joe.
Wow.
I'm
Nice.
Larry, the professor, and over here we've got our good friend Joe, and we like talking movies. We love movies, so we're going to talk a little bit about movies every time we get together. This week we're going to talk about a 1988 classic and the movie Die Hard. And we'll
Is
talk
it
a
a
little
Christmas
bit. What'd you say?
movie? Is it a Christmas movie?
Well, we'll debate that, but let's get into kind of what the movie is, and then we'll
Got
come back and we'll talk about whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not, because there is a lot of debate on whether or not people accept this as a Christmas movie or if they reject it right out as a Christmas movie. So we are going
it.
to
Yep.
talk about what might make it a Christmas movie and go from there. But first, let's kind of for those that may have not seen it or seen it in a while, let's talk a little bit about what this movie is about. That way, people are prepared to go in with us. Uh, Die Hard is an action movie that starts off with a New York cop, John McClane, on an airplane heading to Los Angeles, where his wife is working for a company out in LA. He stayed back, and so his wife has been gone for 6 months, and he's hoping to kind of reconcile things with her as he goes and sees her. And it's Christmas Eve, which is why many people consider it a Christmas movie. Plus, there's a lot of other Christmas references, but it's Christmas Eve, and he ends up at a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza, which is this humongous tower that they've built out there. And Nakatomi is a Japanese company, and at that time it was very not acceptable for women to work if they were married in Japanese culture. So somewhat still true, but back then that was a huge ordeal. So there's some points to that in the movie, but as John gets there and starts to relax a little bit after seeing his wife for the first few moments and getting into a bit of a tiff right off the bat, she goes out to make a speech, and he stays back in the nice luxury office space. It'd be nice to have an office space like that. Nice luxury office space. Um, Hear gunfire, and there is a group of people taking over the party with machine guns, and they're there. They announce that they're there to help free their brethren because, like happened in a lot of '80s movies, they were there to, um, as a terrorist group, there to free the people that they felt like were being taken advantage of. And so that's the premise of the movie. As John McClane says at one point, he becomes the fly in the ointment, causing problems for this group, who's led by um, Hans. Hans is Hans Gruber. If he he's the main lead bad guy in this movie, so we'll just go a little bit from there. So that's kind of the premise of what the movie is, and so tell me what you think, Joe. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie, or is it just an action movie set at Christmas time?
Well, okay. So I think you said you have proof this Christmas movie, so I don't want to ruin that. If you already
Well,
Um,
I just have
yeah,
an argument. That's all. So I just have an
yeah.
argument.
Yes, it's a Christmas movie. It takes place on Christmas Eve,
Hmm?
uh, and yeah, there's all kinds of Christmas music in it. It's not your typical Christmas movie that you would think about feel good and being with family and stuff. But
But okay, we'll wait on that. Yes, yes. All right.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So here's why I will say it's a Christmas movie. What people? Well, one. Let's start off with what people say. It's why it's not a Christmas movie. They say just because it's happening at Christmas time doesn't make it a Christmas movie. It's not about Santa Claus. It's not about the birth of Christ. It's not about any of those things relating to Christmas in that nature. It just happens to take place. There's Christmas trees and there's Christmas music, but that doesn't make it a Christmas movie. And so I say to them, well, then what is a Christmas movie? If you're telling me those are the premises, most of the movies on the Hallmark Channel that are Christmas specials, I'm touching a sensitive area for some people. Those
Yeah.
don't typically have Santa Claus. Those don't typically roll. They revolve around the same plot in every one of those movies of of how it's a romance movie. So if you're telling me that Die Hard is just an action movie set at Christmas time, I'm telling you all those Hallmark movies you're watching, those are just romance movies set at Christmas time, not really a Christmas movie. And
Yep.
then you say, oh, well, some of the more famous Christmas movies. Home Alone. Well, that's just a kid being left alone dealing with burglars during Christmas time. It's not a Christmas movie. Where's the Christmas in that?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
If one of the most classic considered Christmas movies of all time is It's a Wonderful Life. If you've seen A Wonderful Life, and I have, boy, there is not a whole lot of Christmas on that movie other than it's set at Christmas time because it flashes back to lots of time that's not during Christmas time.
Right.
And it just has some scenes at the beginning and the end that are during Christmas time even. Yes, there's a scene in front of a Christmas tree, but there's also a scene in front of a Christmas tree in Die Hard. I don't know. So you better tell me the only thing you can consider Christmas movies are nativity stories and stories directly about Santa Claus. Otherwise, Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Case closed.
Case closed. So we'll lock it up there. But let's talk a little bit about Die Hard. I mean, we've talked about that, and we're playing a little fun. People can have whatever opinions they want. Ours is the right one, but you can have whatever opinion you want. We'll let you have it. So tell me, going back and rewatching Die Hard. So it's from 1988. So it's been 5 or 6 years ago it came out, something like that. At least in my head. Does it hold up for you now? Did you enjoy it as much as you have in the past? And is this something you watch yearly? Is this a yearly movie for you?
It does hold up. I did make a note. You can tell that it's an '80s movie because when he opens his wallet, there's still pictures, and I don't know if anybody has pictures in their wallet anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's a great point.
But yeah, it definitely holds up. It's definitely a picture of that time. Not the
Right.
Nakatomi Corporation, whatever it may be, was still kind of in that Reagan era where big large corporations lead the world, and
Right.
and this movie kind of pushed back against that a little bit, against the tyranny of large corporations and this mass capitalism. It kind of pushed back. It was kind of a everyday man's movie, if you will.
Yeah, most definitely.
Did you know? So the screenwriter, this confirms our thought. The screenwriter was given all kinds of freedom, but the producer said it has to be Los Angeles and it has to be set in Christmas time. So there you go.
So yeah, it could have been. You could have made a 4th of July movie. You could have made a Valentine's Day movie. You make a Christmas movie, intentional. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I did not know that. That's interesting. Yeah, I also I rewatched it, and for me, it's a yearly watch. I watched this. In fact, the joke is it's not really Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off from the Plaza Tower there, and that's kind of true. I kind of feel that, but I also like to embrace other non-traditional Christmas movies. I like to call them non-traditional. They're Christmas movies, but they may not be Christmas movies in your mind, in certain people's minds. Gremlins and some other ones. So no, it held up great. I had a great time rewatching it. I'm watching it for little details of stuff. I totally missed the whole pictures in the wallet because I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah, that's exactly right. I love it's been one of my favorite scenes for a long time. The scene where he's riding in the limo with Argyle, who I love. Argyle's character. Argyle's character is one of my favorites. He's riding in the car with the limo with Argyle. He sits up front, and they're talking along, and he pushes a tape into the cassette player, and it's Run DMC, and John McClane says, "Oh, don't you have any Christmas music?" He goes, "This is Christmas music. And it's Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. By the way, Run DMC right there. Well, love my Run DMC. So, nope. There we go. Having a little trouble there with my headset. There we go. Got to fix that. So I love that. I love the guy on the airplane tells him to come in and to make himself feel more comfortable, take his shoes off and run his toes to the carpet. And I think of a lot of hotel rooms I've been in that I would never want to do that. But this is a really nice new place, so it is one of those places that you can do that with your toes. So he does that, and that actually leads to a lot of the problems he faces because he doesn't have a pair of shoes on during this whole fight. He even makes the point: this terrorist must have the smallest feet of any terrorist known to man. Just stuff like that. That's awesome.
Well, and on that note too, I think the screenwriters did an amazing job setting that up. That whole being barefoot was just a quick comment by a random. So they did a good job of already setting the scene for what's going to happen, and several other ways too. The name, the last name change.
Yeah.
It was subtle, but it was subtle, but it added to the drama, and it also was kind of a twist at the end too. So great way of setting things up without having to go too detailed.
And for what Joe is mentioning there, basically there's a scene where he comes in and realizes his wife is using her maiden name as her last name. She's no longer using his last name. And of course, that can be very upsetting, especially for somebody who's a blue collar cop from New York. You come in to find out that your wife is using her maiden name. And of course, it goes back to that, yes, a woman's value in Japanese culture at that time, as far as work went, once she got married, the assumption is that you won't be able to work. So she goes by Miss, and I forget what the last name was there. De Niro. And then later, when she's talking to Hans Gruber, of course, she uses that name that everybody knows her as. So that works out perfectly because she does, once they find out that John McClane is the cop in the building. First, he thinks it's a security guard or something else, and then all this other stuff. But yeah, so that actually plays into it. And then at the end, when it's revealed who she is, then Hans has her basically held to gunpoint for when McClane comes in. Yeah. By the way, I'm just astounded by the greatness of Hans Gruber there, and oh my gosh, totally lost his name for just a second.
Alan Rickman.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman was such a good actor. Rest in peace, Alan Rickman. That was such a great loss when he passed. But you think about Snape in Harry Potter, and you think about Hans Gruber. And he played a lot of other roles, but he has such diversity. I love when he changes his accent. When John McClane stumbles upon him, changes his accent to sound like he's like from the South rather than being a German terrorist. And
That was cool.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, that have not seen the whole movie, the whole twist of the movie is that everybody assumes these guys are terrorists, and really all they want to do is rob the place. And there's one point of, Hans, why did you have to blow the building like that? It's like, well, you see, if you steal $600, people don't just keep looking for you. But if you steal whatever it was, $600 million or whatever it was that they were stealing, people don't stop looking for you unless they think you're dead. And I'm like, wow, that made so much sense. So
Continue.
No, that's fine. Go ahead and ask a question. I don't even remember what I was going to say.
It was well, what I want to say is, in terms of an everyman's film, John McClane was supposed to be kind of the everyman,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
guy. He wasn't supposed to be a hero. He wasn't supposed to be anything magnificent. And they play into that with Argyle and
Hmm.
with a cop that ends up helping John McClane.
Yeah, yeah.
The chief of police is an idiot, and he is making terrible. The guy, same thing. They're idiots making terrible.
It,
These
Agent,
everyday men know how to
was
do
it
it.
Agent Johnson? Agent Johnson? No relation?
Yeah, it was Agent Johnson. Yeah, Agent Johnson.
Because one's a black younger man and one's a older white guy.
Yeah, yeah.
No relation. Oh my gosh.
And then, what was the chief of police's name? Paul
Oh my
Gleason.
god. Um.
Paul Gleason,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the teacher from Breakfast Club, or the principal.
Principal from Breakfast Club. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Deputy of Police Dwayne something.
Yeah.
But yes, yes, yeah. I forgot. I knew I knew him, but I was trying to place him there when I'm watching it because this guy's an idiot in everything he's in. But yeah, Breakfast Club, most definitely an idiot in Breakfast Club. But I had a principal just like that from Breakfast Club in real life. So yeah. But yes, oh my gosh. And when they actually designed that on purpose, they were trying to do a movie, an action movie, where the hero didn't seem invincible. In fact, he got hurt quite a bit in this movie. His feet cut up. He had to jump off the tower and try to swing in through a window with an explosion there. There's times where he's just showing that he's just trying to catch his breath to try to survive this whole thing. And which was not your typical Rambo, Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of action movie. It was a very different action movie. And what I've read says that really kind of changed the whole genre of action movies going forward, is that people became a lot more sensitive and not as not as testosterone based as much. And because he's trying to go here to save his marriage, so he's a little bit already showing that he is vulnerable because he's there trying to fix something that he probably should have taken care of that ended up in a fight 6 months ago. So, yeah.
What's interesting too, is John McClane was turned down by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Richard Gere, Harrison Ford, Burt Reynolds, Mel Gibson. They all turned this role down, and we know what it did financially. Do you have those numbers there? What it did financially?
I don't. Why don't you tell us?
Oh, so it was made for 25 to 30 million.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It made about 150 million, which is a huge success.
Yeah.
And
huge.
Bruce Willis was paid $5 million at that point, which made him one of the top actors. But this was only his second movie.
Right.
And a lot of the industry professionals thought paying him $5 million was a poor investment.
Right. Well, because he was a TV star. He was moonlighting. And I forget what the other movie was he was in before that, but wasn't Woman in Red or something? But it didn't do nearly, didn't really do a whole lot in the theaters. Where this one did a lot, and then even got a huge, much larger bump from being shown on HBO and the paid channels back in the day afterwards. So it did well in theaters, but then did even better as even more people found out about it.
Well, it shot Bruce Willis to like the top of the
it did
action stars. Yeah,
most definitely. So what compared to other action movies set at Christmas time, because there's several out there, including the Lethal Weapon, the first Lethal Weapon movie. Maybe it's more than one in that. What makes this one stand out from those? That this is what we come back to And I love Lethal Weapon, and I'll probably actually watch it again during this Christmas season. But it doesn't have the staying power as far as associated with Christmas the Die Hard does. What makes it different?
That's a really good question. I think just the argument alone that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie keeps people talking about it and keeps
That's
it Christmas.
true. Yeah,
What do you
they have to love when people say that because, like, oh, now our name's back out there again every Christmas. It's kind of like Mariah Carey. You can't get her to go away at Christmas time, right?
What do you think about it? Why do you think it stays
You
staying
know,
power?
I think partially it is that it's an everyman kind of action movie. I mean, you've got Bruce Willis doing things that he doesn't really want to do here. He's hurt. He's there basically. He probably would have just left if it wasn't for his wife being there and wanting to save her. So, which I think most of us that are married can relate to that. If we thought our wives were in trouble, we'd do everything we could, even jump off a 40-story tower if we had to try to save her. So, you have that, but it is an interesting thought because man, Lethal Weapon's a great movie, and it happens at Christmas time also. Why is this not in the debate? Why is it Die Hard? But the Die Hard has stayed there, and I love it. So I'm a fan. What's your favorite scene in this movie, Joe?
Oh, there's so many good ones.
There is.
I was waiting for the classic line, the classic that has now made its way into
Yippee
the world.
ki
Yep, of society. I think most everybody's heard that line or knows where it comes
Roy
from.
Rogers. Or was it Gene
Yeah.
Autry? Was it?
Yeah. How
One of
about
those
you?
two.
What was
Um,
your favorite?
you know, um, my favorite there's several good lines. One of my favorite lines in it though is when Al, the other cop, the cop that gets called out, is in the convenience store, and the guy in the convenience store is like, "I thought you guys only ate donuts," as he has all these sweets with them. Well, it's for my wife. She's pregnant. Right.
Right. Oh, that's fun.
I find that super humorous every time, and
Yeah.
there's so many good lines though. I love the when he sends the first dead body down after he kills the guy, and has him taped up to the chair, and then on a shirt it says "Ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun." That's just and of course Hans reads it out loud, so it is sad, but you can just hear McLean saying that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so
Oh,
amazing.
yeah. Or the scene where he actually gets through 911 at some point
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah.
But they cut all the phone lines and everything else, and the lady on the line says, "Sir, this is for emergencies only." And he's like, "This is an emergency." He says, "Fine, report me. Come on down here and arrest me. Just bring everybody, basically." And
Yeah.
that was pretty. Yeah, I can't really repeat the things that he did say, but
Right. Because this movie is definitely an R-rated movie, and there are lines that we're not going to repeat on our show here. But yes, but yeah, that is such a great line because she's like, uh, but this is just for really.
I
What do you
will
think I'm
report you.
calling for?
No, what does he say? She says, "This is for emergencies only." He says, "No S, lady. What am I trying to order? A pizza here?"
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, the scene at the end where he tapes the handgun to his back because he's walking and he's got the machine gun in hand, and I think he's got a bullets in it actually. But nobody knows that. So he comes in, and Hans has the gun to the girl's head, to his wife's head, and then the other guy is there standing there with Hans, and and Hans got the gun pointed at him, headed at her head, and then he drops the gun, and Hans has it pointed at him. So, what is it that you said? Yippee ki and
Yeah.
finishing the line. and then they all start laughing, and then he grabs the gun from his back, shoots, yells for his wife to duck, shoots Han, and then shoots the other guy right square through the head.
Yeah.
I love that scene. And then, of course, Hans is falling out the window, still alive, holding on to her by her watch. And they made a big deal about this watch early in the movie, which
Oh, that's right.
about show him the watch that you got. The guy that was doing coke on our desk,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is my husband, the cop. Maybe you shouldn't be doing cocaine right here, but and he has to undo the watch to get that off, so Hans falls because Hans is starting to pull up a pistol to shoot him, and gets the watch off, and that's that classic scene where he starts falling back. So I love that whole interaction there. Yeah, that watch is
Good eye.
very important. Tell them about the watch that you got, because this is like a super expensive watch because she closes a great deal and she's the best at this and blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, and then you got that same guy that talks about the watch later show up to tell Hans that he invited John McClane and that they're best buds, and he'll talk him to come in, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't tell them that. Shoots him. Oh my gosh. Where are the detonators? Like, what do you need the detonators for? I used all the C4. Why do you need the detonators? Didn't use all the C4.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what other people say about this movie. Because it's actually, for a action movie, this movie is very well rated. It's an 8.2 on IMDb. It has an 89% like on Google. On Metacritic, it's a 72%, which is the lowest of the numbers. On Rotten Tomatoes, which we've gotten both the popcorn and the tomato version, which tomato version is the critics and the popcorn is the fans, it's tied for 94%. 94% of the critics on Rotten Tomatoes like this movie.
Wow.
So it's very well accepted and beloved, along with being, debated often about Christmas movies, but people really like it, which I think is amazing, because normally action movies don't do as well with the critics. Popcorn meter often pretty high with most action movies because people like going and getting kind of lost into the fun of it, but this one is beloved by the critics also.
And did you know it was nominated for 4 Academy Awards?
I did. Again, an action movie nominated for any Academy Awards is very rare. Nevertheless, 4.
Yeah.
What were they for? Do you know?
Oh, visual effects, sound editing, film editing, and film editing, sound effects, best visual effects, and it doesn't even say the other one. Best sound.
Best sound. That makes sense. Those are the typical ones you're going to get and stuff like that. I think you could have given a supporting actor nod to Alan Rickman, most definitely.
Yeah.
The way he pulls that character off and interacts. But, we're still not at a place where they want to give those kind of awards away to silly action movies. So,
right.
All right.
Well,
exactly. Well, Joe, it's about that time. We're going to be happy wrapping up. So, why don't you tell me what kind of grade do you give Die Hard?
Man, I got to give it an A. I really enjoyed watching it. Every time I watch it, I enjoy it.
I don't think we've ever done this before, but I give it an A also. So we're double Aing this thing and giving it 2 A's from the folks at GeekyKOOL and Geeky Cinephiles. We give it an A apiece. So if you haven't seen Die Hard, and we suggest you do, unless you're under the age of 18 or under the age of 17, where you're not allowed to watch it yet. I was trying to get my son, who's 16, to watch it with me, and he wasn't that interested. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You need to watch this movie. Anyway, but otherwise, we suggest checking it out, seeing what you think of this movie if you've not seen it. If you have seen it, but it's been a while, go back and rewatch it. I think you'll discover how amazing this movie is. The amazing soundtrack, the the humor in it that is well placed. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger humor, which I do love. It's not the little one-liners. There are certain times, and of course, you've got the scene of him crawling through the vent, going, "Come out to L.A. We'll have some laugh." Just love that. But it's very well done, well acted, and the action scenes are amazing. So check it out. We will bring you something else, probably Christmas related, next week. So check back in, tune in for next week's episode of Geeky Cinephiles, and that'll be number 26, and hear what we've got to say. Well, not sure which one what movie or what list we'll do yet, but we'll do something Christmas related. Until then, though, stay geeky and keep watching movies, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks,
Have
Larry.
a great night. Hey, thanks, Joe. Always a pleasure.